Alright, hello, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Elliott with Rickety Ski Reviews, and today we're going to be reacting to the 2023 Nordica Enforcer review by Andy Lewicky. This ski is the same from 2023 to 2024, so this video is titled 2023-2024. It's the same ski, different top sheets. I reviewed it back this winter. I gave it a pretty not great score. I think I gave it like a 5.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, something like that. I really wasn't a big fan of this ski. And here's why. This ski tries to do everything. It tries to be one ski quiver. It tries to be a wide powder ski. It also tries to be a carving ski. It's also a very old design, and you really feel it. It feels long in the tooth. My biggest gripe with it is, as a carving ski, it really doesn't load up the ski fully and give you your energy back. Like, you can put energy into the ski, but you're not gonna get that energy kind of slingshotted back at the end of the turn. I've kind of referred to it as a half a turn ski, because it's really good if you just like the initiation and you're kind of willing to hop, initiate, and then hop again. But if you're somebody who wants to load that ski, get the energy out of the tail, and kind of swing into the next turn, probably isn't the ski for you. Again, some people have the style where they don't really do the second half of the turn, and that's totally fine. I'm not hating on that style, but I'm just letting you know. This ski has some major downsides, and I see it marketed everywhere as like an all-in-one perfect ski, and I'm here to tell you it's not, at least not in my experience. I've also think that this ski is really targeted towards intermediate skiers, as well as kind of older skiers, people who aren't really fully loading and locking into that ski. Just my opinion, but I've seen anecdotally a lot of older people on this ski and they really love it. So if you're not worried about, hey, I wanna load into the ski fully and get everything out of it that I put into it, maybe the ski's fine for you. But in my opinion, the ski will really hold you back. This ski is really going to limit how much you can progress in your skiing because you're only doing half of the turn. So my advice is, if you're somebody that really cares about carving or who really wants to improve in your carving, I would maybe stay away from this unless you have that specific style where you're willing to kind of hop and throw your skis and then initiate them again. I gave Ski Essentials in my video yesterday a pretty hard time about this, and I don't know, I mean, I do feel like they said some pretty crazy things that were like, it seemed like they were dancing around the ski. But then again, on their website, it says that Bob and Jeff own this ski, so maybe they're being honest. It's hard to tell. But for me, I think the ski's really limiting, and I think that at the very least, if you want to buy the ski, try it, because it seems like it should be for a very specific set of people. Now, let's see what Andy Lewicky says. Andy is one of my favorite ski reviewers. He's very honest. He's usually pretty on the money. But who knows, he's kind of a wild card. Sometimes he likes skis that I am not on the, kind of the same frequency with. So let's see what Andy says. I've not watched this video, so I'm going into it completely blind. One of two things is gonna happen. Either one, he agrees with me, doesn't really like it, that's fine. We can kind of talk about the nuances. Or two, he's gonna go rogue and really like it. No disrespect to Andy, but he's definitely kind of in that older category, and I've seen a lot of people in his age category that like it. Now, I don't wanna generalize. People are very different skiers all across different ages. We can like different skis. That's okay. But let's talk about the nuances and let's dive into it. And here we
All right, back at Mammoth Mountain for the WWSRA on snow demo, and we have Nordica's Enforcer 100. Take a look at it. There's the ski right there. I'm riding the 172, 100 millimeters underfoot, and the last time I rode the Enforcer, I didn't really like it, and I thought either there was something wrong with the particular ski that I was on.
Okay. Looking like option number one. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, it's a really disappointing ski, and if you savor a turn, you're really gonna feel like you're missing out on things. Andy, whatever that ski cat is, come on. You like have good audio because you do the little microphone here, but you gotta like retake stuff. I don't know. I hate hearing the towers. I hate hearing the snowcat. But you know what? That's what you sacrifice when you're listening to greatness. So let's keep going with Andy's review.
Maybe a tune job or something, or that was the new iteration of some rocker revisions they had done, or just that the ski itself was a little bit rough. Either way, I was kind of nervous because when a super popular ski doesn't seem to work for me, I kind of wonder.
I had the exact same thing. I was like, is it me? Am I crazy? That's the hard thing about skis. Just because it's popular doesn't mean that it's necessarily good. If you think about all of the skiers out there, there's people of all different abilities and all different ski styles. So you have a lot of like beginner and intermediate skiers. And if you're at that level, and nothing, I'm not like holding this against people, but you're not feeling the full turn because you're not loading the ski throughout the whole turn. So you just wouldn't even feel it. Not a dig against those people. Everybody starts at that point. Everyone has to be a beginner at some point, etc. So no hate towards that, but I had the exact same feeling. I was like, am I crazy? What? Like I brought the skis back to the shop and they're like, oh, how'd you like them? And I was like, I hated them. It's so awkward. I hate going to ski shops if I can avoid it. But yeah, anyway, maybe Andy's gonna give me the big, but they're great. But so far, everything he's saying completely echoes my experience with the Enforcer 100.
Whether my judgment is off, I can tell you happily on the 2022 Enforcer that I wholeheartedly endorse this one. This feels like a fantastic ski to me. And the thought that I had coming off the Rustler and the Bonafide was, boy, wouldn't it be nice if somebody would make a ski that kind of did both those things well. And
what? They say never meet your heroes, and this feels like in that vein. You went from hating it to loving it. They didn't change it in those years. Oh God. Is it just the conditions? How did this happen? Because I had this exact same experience. And I was like, were they tuned wrong? What's wrong with them? What, Andy? Okay, maybe he'll explain it.
And this feels like that ski. We have tremendous carving and confidence on long radius high-speed GS turns, which I love, but we also have snappiness. We have quality slashing short radius turns on steep pitches, and I love that also. Nordica says they've reduced the weight.
So how does that explain your hatred for them initially? Also, like, these skis are kind of heavy. What did Bob put them at? Like 22, something like that? 2,200 grams. What did you feel then that you don't feel now? What are you talking about, man? Yeah, they don't slash super well because they're pretty slow edge to edge. So like if you're in the trees and if you're carving, they're just like kind of an incomplete build, in my opinion.
By 20%, that may not be true. That sometimes the information I get isn't perfect, but they have made the ski lighter. They've added some carbon. That's probably the only thing I don't really like about this ski, is it feels a little carbony to me. And what I mean by that is it's quiet, it's damp, not sleepy as some of the worst carbon skis are, but more quiet than I want. I like a little more feedback from the snow.
Yeah, and that depends on how you implement the carbon. I've seen carbon implemented well on the Atomic Vantages, and I've seen it implemented poorly on other skis. It's like where you put it in the ski and how much you put in the pattern and the build and everything. I think carbon can be done well, but during its early introduction to skis, it was just kind of thrown into everything, and it made for some kind of unresponsive skis. That's just my opinion, but there were some really good carbon skis out there. Like there was a Nordica cheater ski that used carbon that I loved. It was like a 2013. Just depends.
Some of you might call that chatter, and I admit this is kind of an issue of personal taste, but I do like kind of the pure wood course traditional construction skis for their slightly more active, noisy feel. That's about all I can think about to complain about the Enforcer. Edge to edge, it is so sweet. It rolls so easily from turn to turn. This is exactly what your modern all-mountain ski is supposed to do. Traditional non-freaky geometry, just the right amount of rocker. I think this is easily among...
Oh my God, that's so much noise. You got the rattling of the lift, you got the snowmobile. Like, dude, just pull off to the side and do this. God, you like took the time to put the mic on your vest, right? Like, he feels like they're very responsive. He likes a responsive, lively ski. I don't know. This must be just a difference of taste. I did not like these skis. I wanted more energy back out of them. If Andy's skiing, if he's maybe a little bit more light-footed than I am, maybe he doesn't notice that. His initial reaction to the skis sounded exactly like what I experienced, and I wish he would address that more, because it kind of feels like he's sweeping his old opinion under the rug. And I get that temptation, because when you say that you don't like the most popular ski out there, You get a lot of comments. Like, I get comments all the time on my videos saying, Nordica Enforcer, well, you just must not be a big enough skier, or you must be too big, or you don't really carve. Oh, you're not a real racer. It's like, I get all of my hate comments come from these Nordica Enforcer videos, which is probably why I haven't done one in a while. So I understand the temptation to change your opinion, but I don't know. What did they change that magically fixed this? I still haven't heard that. And what of your concerns that you had before went away? Just my opinion, but I have not ever been impressed by these Nordic Enforcers. Maybe I need to retest them, but you know, for like the next year if they change them. I don't know. I haven't heard what they fixed. What was awful that you didn't like that they changed, and how did they change it? God, this is like the opposite problem that Ski Essentials has when they like get too in the woods on the build.
Among the elite skis in the category. A different take from the Bonafide, to be sure. Not as stiff and aggressive feeling, but incredibly confidence-inspiring and not giving up anything in terms of performance. So,
okay, credit where it's due on the Nordic Enforcer. He is right. It does feel like a stable platform. When you load the ski, it does feel like it's going to hold you. So if you're kind of like in the woods and the conditions aren't good, yeah, it feels like a reliable turn. It doesn't ever feel like the ski's gonna give out on you. But with the more fine-tuned turns where you load it and you want to get energy back, it kind of fails you there. So what he's saying is correct, and credit to the ski where it's due. As much as I like to kind of pick on this ski a little bit, it does a couple things well. And that's why it didn't get like an abysmal score for me. But it just feels like it's overstretching what it's trying to do and not doing anything particularly well. That's my opinion. I can respect Andy's opinion. Yeah, credit where it's due. It does create a stable platform on a downhill ski.
You know, in those intangibles, I think this one easily appeals to me more. And if it wasn't for that slightly quiet carbony feeling, maybe I would be skiing this as one of my main skis. Maybe so.
This is also a good example of like, this ski looks good on paper, but would you buy it? And he just answered like, no, I wouldn't, because of some of those features that just kind of edge it out from being as strong of a ski as a Maverick, as a QST, as a Ranger. You know, like there are other skis that really, really thrive in certain areas and that give you a rewarding feeling. And this ski is like stretched so thin to appeal to such a wide audience and to so many people who are either demoing skis or who are intermediate to beginners that it really fails to give you some of the more nuance and kind of beauty out of a turn. I understand what Andy's saying, and I think he's being very pragmatic about this by saying like, if you look at the spreadsheet, it really does have a lot of like stat points. Overall, it probably has some of the most stat points, but in my opinion, I'd rather have a ski do something really well and really be able to enjoy it, and then maybe buy a second ski for another part, right? Like, I'd rather have a QST in the powder, and then I'd rather have a Maverick for carving. Or, you know, if I'm like, hey, I really want a crud cutter ski, like a Mantra or a Mindbender, then I want them to do that well. I want the ski to excel in an area rather than trying to be suitable in every aspect. And to me, that's exactly how I see the Nordica Enforcer.
That's the Enforcer. It's a strong ski. Again, a very, very, very impressive ski from Nordica, but you probably already knew that. This is a popular ski. All right, back to Mammoth.
Like I said, I think the ski is really trying to tick as many boxes as it can, but unfortunately, it really lacks a distinct identity to me. So if you're looking for something where you just want to be able to explore the mountain and you're not worried about perfecting a carve, the ski's probably more than suitable. But if you're somebody who wants to get better at carving, who enjoys carving, you know, I'm gonna give it to you honest, this ski has some real downsides. It's not very responsive, it doesn't give you your energy back, and it can feel kind of like a boring, dull ski to people who are more advanced. But that being said, if you're just looking for something to get down the hill, if you're kind of on the older side of the spectrum for skiing and you're just thinking, I just want something that's gonna kind of hold me in my turn, this ski's probably more than suitable. But for people who really want to see a ski that's gonna excel and do things well, I would look at other things. As always, test the ski if you're not sure, right? Like, you don't have to take my word for it. I have good experience. But if you don't believe me, at least heed my warning. This ski has some real big shortcomings, and you should know about them, and you can test them and make sure to see if those downsides or weaknesses are even relevant to you. So that's my advice. I'm not here to, you know, beat up on Nordica, beat up on Andy, whatever. I'm here to tell you about skis, so that you can have the full picture, because in the ski industry, it gets very rosy and optimistic, and you should know about all the features of the ski. So that's what I thought of the Nordica Enforcer. That's what I thought of Andy's review. I think he had another one, so maybe I'll come back and watch that later. But for now, that's my thoughts on the Nordica Enforcer. If you like this content, please consider giving it a like. If you don't like it, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. If you want to support my channel, the best thing you can do is subscribe and like the video. I mean, that helps me out a lot. It helps my channel kind of grow. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.